Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back, ready for another great conversation. Miss Deria Brown is joining us. Did you see what 2 years have done, Miss Deria?
Wow, I'm a little ashamed. You are the hardest working person in the body of Christ. I was like, what am I doing with my life? Hats off to you. It is not easy. I saw your passion, your consistency in that, and the influence that you have and the team that you've built. I was in Dallas last week in your neck of the woods. I sat down to dinner with two ladies that I had met in the Bahamas serving. And I looked across the table and I'm like, you guys, literally, I only spent 3 days with you 2 years ago and our lives have been connected. And they said, what do you think it is? I said, it is Ricardo Miller's influence and the anointing on his life to bring people together. So hats off to you. It's an honor to be here tonight, sir.
Man, it is a joy to be able to divinely connected with both you and your husband. Herb Ford, he's been trying to connect us for a while prior to our connection in doing the radio show. First, before you guys came to the Bahamas, we did the radio, and I said, you know what? I would love for you guys to join me in the Bahamas. And I think a couple of years have gone by. I reached out to you guys. You said you want to do it. And I mean, the connection for the Bahamas, and I believe the best is yet to come because there are so much opportunities there for what you both have to offer. And I think the partnership, what I'm seeing being formed in the Bahamas, in Dallas, and around the world, the best is yet to come.
Right. Divinely connected. You said it.
Yeah. So tonight I wanted to talk with you because I understand that 2020 was a year that was challenging for a lot of people. It's an understatement to say it wasn't. But in the midst of it, we kept pushing. We pivoted as necessary. We understood the rules of engagement demands that we did not do things as they were, but now we have to make adjustments so that we can thrive in spite of a pandemic. You have been relentless. You have been determined, and you've been pushing in spite of. Tell our viewing audience a little bit about Deria Brown, and then let's just start there, and maybe what keeps you going.
Oh, wow. So my name is Deria Brown. I own retail stores in the U.S. And so CEO, entrepreneur, business owner. I'm married. I'm somebody's grandmother. So, okay, if that tells you anything about timeline. And I have a nonprofit ministry for girls called Sparkle Pink Club for Girls, 12 years doing it, teaching girls how to be amazing, modeling entrepreneurship, and all of the good stuff. And so I'm not sure. I'll just jump right into it. When I shared this, I said, this will be the masterclass of mindset, mental mindset. So let me just jump right into it because you pose a really good question. What keeps me motivated? And man, motivation is it could be like a watered down term, right? It's like, oh, we need there's personal motivation, there's self-motivation, there's motivation. But what is it really at the root? What does motivation mean? And here's number one, what I learned for myself. I cannot motivate myself. I cannot do it. I have to tell my mind, I have to engage my mindset every single day. Oh my gosh, if I went through my list, my triggers, my everything that I use, my motivation is a system in order to keep me going and arriving at my destiny. It's a whole system.
You said it's a system, but it's one that you obviously had to take some time to discover. You had to learn yourself. You had to learn what are your triggers, the good, the bad, and the indifference. At the end of the day, I know this is when I'm heading in the wrong direction.
Right. Right. It's easy to do. Yeah. So let's talk about triggers or heading in the wrong direction. What sends me there? I'll do that. So managing my emotions and managing my time. Number one, managing my emotions. I had to take, and I'm a woman, so emotion, it just comes with. Nothing wrong with it, but there's a whole different set of management that goes with that, especially if you're in the business arena. You can't walk into there with feelings and being out of control and emotional, just not able to be effective in that venue. So first of all, I had to remove all of the external controls. Here's what I'm talking about. Like, my TV has remote control. It's console, knobs, things like that. I had all of the controls and I was wearing them externally. People could pull knobs and push buttons and twist things around. And I'm like, I got to remove this access panel from, I got to take this internally and control this. So the very first thing that I did, and it was a complete mind shift, was remove the external controls. Can't nobody knock me off my game. I can't expose the knobs and the levers and the pin number and all of that for people to access and take me off focus. So that internal control says, okay, can you count on you, Deria? Can you count on you? And that's a whole nother level of thinking. Can you count on you to show up for you every single day? Can you do it? And then can you capture and control and contain the access panel? Maybe, put a lock on it, put a code on it, but capture that access panel so everybody can't just manipulate my emotions and get me off focus.
Well, the thing that a lot of people don't understand, people could do that. And there are some people who say people can't. And that's oftentimes because they haven't taken the time to study themselves to know that they could, and they have, and they do. But you have to now realize, as you mentioned just now, I love how you mentioned, I decided to take back the control buttons. I decided, with kids, you could say, you know what, I'm going to put the remote away. You don't get the option to control the dynamics.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And giving away control is also giving away your outcomes. If I don't have control over my life, then I don't have control over my outcomes. I can't meet my goals. I mean, it's a long continuum. It's a generalized statement. But when I lose control of my emotions, of my temperament, of my focus, of my time, I will never arrive at the goals that God has for me. And as I go along, I'll become more bitter. I'll blame others, the people that I allow to interfere with my destiny, and it just becomes a vicious cycle.
Wow, a vicious cycle. Let's talk about dealing with challenges and embracing change when it comes to being mentally tough. Because the truth is, some people break because the change happened too fast or is too frequent, and then there are others who, at the end of the day, they can't take a challenge. They only can take what they've been prepared for, and life has a tendency of presenting stuff that we ain't prepared for. And so change and unprepared throw some people off, and they can't function. What's your thought?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen people who desired more, who were promoted too soon, who it seems like they shot off like a rocket. And you can get out there, and you said a key word, and not be prepared.
Yeah.
This is the hardest lesson that I had to learn. Prepare, work on you when the phones aren't ringing, when nobody wants you on their show, when you don't have the whole concept for the book. You need to prepare. Prepare for an opportunity that doesn't yet exist. Prepare for promotion. Promotion is for grown folks. Business is for mature people. Marriage is for grown folks. All of these things that cause the dynamic and can bring out those controls and levers and friction, that is for the mature. How do you get mature? You work on you. There's at certain levels of prosperity, or life or responsibility, you need to know more.
Right. Yeah.
You need to know more. There's a quote by there's a CEO. I used to be a financial advisor for American Express Financial Advisors, and our CEO at the time, his name was Ken Chenault, and he was doing a teaching with the sales force. And he gave us a bit of advice that I will never forget. He said, if you're going to speak up, you better know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, if you want to engage, or you're going to engage at a higher level,
yep,
expect adversity, expect challenge, and come up with a system to manage it. How many people actually know how to take a problem, pull it apart, and solve it without activating emotion? That is a level of maturity that I rarely.
That is so good. That's so good. Promotion, ladies and gentlemen, write this down. Promotion is for grown folks.
Yes.
Promotion is for grown folks. And you said something that I preached on Sunday, and I placed with the sermon. A part of it was prepare for what you're praying for. Prepare for what you're praying for. And you mentioned it, that there are some people who are they're good-hearted, but they're not prepared. Right. Their desire genuinely is for the best, but they're not skilled to acquire what they desire, because it's just a wish list. They have not done the work to become the person capable of acquiring, and if they acquire it, they lose it and get bitter, resentful, and mad. What's your view on that whole thing of, I'm a good person, I should get it?
Yeah, God placed something on the inside of us to desire and want more. Yeah. That's natural. That's a natural desire given to us by our Creator. The realization of it is a supernatural process. Now, activating that supernatural process to get elevated and get where God needs you to be, and to operate and function at another level, takes another level of discipline and focus. Now, first of all, you got to sow at another level. You got to sow there before you can go there. You got to sow. You got to find somebody that you see, take their class, let them be your coach. You have to. Everybody pays for education. Either you pay in mistake money, losing money because you don't know what you're doing, or you pay in college tuition, or you pay your coach, but everybody pays. You don't get to the next level without paying. So be prepared to invest. Be prepared to pay, put out the money, and you're worth it. Wow. You're worth it. It's value added. And then secondly, those everyday actions. I'll have a choice to watch the season 2 of Hawaii Five-0 just blow a weekend. I have a choice. Season 2 of Hawaii Five-0, which I would love to do, or this app. I have an app that'll read books to me, and I got so smooth now. I know how to pick the speed up, so I can hurry. So or do a series, a book, a readathon. So the choices that we make in those moments that will make us better when nobody's watching, when that's personal development and it's all on us, that will help us to respond to the bigger opportunity. And let me tell you, people know when you at a level you ain't supposed to be at. Your youth starts showing, your ignorance starts showing, your lack of understanding, it will show through. And then that's where we start to see the mental anguish, the stress of trying to operate and function where we're not supposed to be.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, Deria Brown, guys, listen, man, this talk needs to be shared. It needs to allow someone to tag, because there are so many people who said 2021 is going to be their year. We're now in July. Things aren't appeared to be turning the way that you're desiring for to turn. And you're wondering why. I've been asking a number of my clients, how's that working for you? Because a lot of times we fight to hold on to something when the reality of it is, it's not working for you. And so you said so much just now that I think if you're watching this right now, please tag 3 or 4 people and tell them, listen, you got to check this talk out. We're about to dive into some stuff, because mentally toughness is one of those areas you just got to acquire the skill set to make sure that you can meet the demands of the level that you've been praying for. Now, I want to talk about this candid conversation for next level promotion. You know, next level promotion is what I desire, but I'm not interested in candid conversation. Candid conversation has the ability to help me to get to understand what could be limiting me from going up. What's going on in relations to people's mental state and their unwillingness to take candid conversations?
Oh, wow. I could go a mile on that. People are processing feedback as criticism. And that's a filter in between that. My words, your ears, how it comes to me, how I process it, it goes through my emotional filter. It goes through my deficits. It goes through my inadequacies. It goes through my jealousies. It goes through my envies. People process information with a filter. And if they're processing, let's say you're working with a coach or you're like, why isn't it my turn? Why am I not at my level? And, it's difficult to tell people their dreams aren't coming true. Wow. Because, you can tell when you talk to them, they're not putting up enough, they're not shooting their shot. So, but the filters, and that's where we have to deal with these emotions. We got to deal with them. That negative filter that will take something that could help me, something as feedback, and process it as criticism and cause me to disconnect from a relationship that could have changed my life. That causes me to not receive a person, a pastor, a preacher, a minister, a friend, a mentor, not to receive that tough, candid conversation, because you can only solve a problem if you admit to having it. You can only fix a deficit if you acknowledge it exists. So, message sent has to be message received. If it's not, then you got to deal with, okay, what filter are you hearing me through? Are you hearing me through a fear filter? Are you afraid? Are you hearing me through a filter of low confidence? You don't believe you can. Let's get to the bottom of why can't you be great? Wow. And then let's solve for it. I mean, if God gives you, and he gives stuff so big, it's like, really? My lifetime? Here we go. But it's so bad and it's hard to contain. But he declares the end at the beginning. So you could see something big and just be getting started. And that distance in between is a valley or a mountain. And you got to climb those, and you're going to need help from others. You can't get there by yourself.
You cannot get there by yourself. I am loving this talk. Today we're joined with Deria Brown, and we're diving into a conversation. If you're desiring to go to another level, it's important that you do the necessary work to identify what is it that I need to do to get to the next level. Effective Living is celebrating 2 years as a company called and existing to help people structure their lives in a way so life can start working in favor of them. Okay, there's too many people who they're going through the motion and they don't like the end result of what they're acquiring, and you don't have to stay that way. You can change, okay? And so we've been helping people with that. We've been on the radio for 7 years, and for 2 years we've been doing Effective Living. Prior to the 2 years on the 2 years as Effective Living, I was the children's ministry guy. Okay, and so after having done the children's ministry guy for a number of years, I shifted my platform, and so now we have Effective Living. Check this out, and we'll be right back with Deria Brown.
We're Mondays in and out. We're showing up. We're providing great content to help people take their life to a whole new level. Here on Fishbowl Radio Network, I learned a quote a couple of years ago, guys, and it really helped me to form this whole platform and the service we provide to Effective Living. And it says, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond to it. Most people don't understand it's about the response. Sami G joining us for 7 years. I mean, we've been on the platform doing our thing. And we're celebrating 7 years. 7 years.
7 years! Good job! Good job! Good job!
There's room for improvement. What do y'all think about it? faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun.
Come on.
I'm talking about to have all of them on lock. I'm telling you, I'm in pursuit of it.
Yes.
I'm in pursuit of it. Creating a life you don't need a vacation from is possible. Join us every Monday right here on Effective Living. Connect with us with our various services on our website, ricardomiller.com. Love and appreciate you. 7 years going strong. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Hi, it's Ricardo Miller of Effective Living here on Fishbowl Radio Network, where we're helping you to create a life you don't need to take a vacation from. Every Monday night at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And yesterday we're talking this evening, and we're dealing with mental toughness, okay? Mental toughness, and this whole idea that I want more, I've prayed for more, and I wrote out the whole idea that more is coming to me based on these things that I have listed. And today we're joined with Deria Brown, and she's highlighting some of the criteria to seeing the manifestation of what you prayed for. Can you take candid conversation? As a matter of fact, are you grown enough to say you want? Because, Ms. Deria, the thing about it is, wanting it and even getting it actually reveals to us a lot more of what we did not realize it would reveal. As you mentioned, people can see that you're not qualified already for what you actually sometimes have that has been presented to you. I mean, that's crazy. Talk to us a little bit about it, because I don't think a lot of people realize how important is it, even if you're sustaining, holding your own, but there is more that's still supposed to come to you. It is important that you still, not because I got it means that I was qualified for it. And am I doing the work to make sure that I can sustain it, in addition to planning the strategy or steps to get to the next phase and not be prolonged in this particular position because I got it when I wasn't ready for it. And now I'm finding myself sitting in the seat of frustration. I'm delayed from the next level because I have not been doing the necessary work for promotion.
Wow. Wow. Every season has a source. Every season has an income stream. We have to arrive at the right place at the right time to be able to extract what God has for us from the spirit realm. We don't want to miss nothing. I don't want to leave anything on the table. Problem that I see is people, hey, they could be not spending enough time. They could be doing the time and spinning their wheels like, why isn't this happening? Why can't I get to the next level? Here is an area to look at and uncover. And it's a very simple element. It's time management and actions. I mean, I know you're familiar with it. The 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. And now I'll just talk about me because I can handle talking about me. 80% of my revenue is derived from 20% of my actions. Literally, I make more money off of only a few things that I do. In an individual, how this relates to the listener, you will get more benefit, more momentum, more push forward on 20% of what you do. The problem is, what am I supposed to be doing in that smaller space to get more effective, efficient results? What is the actions that will actually make me more revenue, have promotions, get more speaking engagements, XYZ? What are the actions? Now, for me, I know my 20% actions. My 20% actions are making sales calls, buying effective inventory, and reaching out to our partners. So I know if I were to do these three things consistently, I know I could count the Benjamins, I know that. The problem is, and I am not effectively, now this is outside of me now because I actually do this. The problem is I hate to make sales calls. I get too busy to buy inventory. So we can overlook those key actions and be busy and have a full day. Well, I did this, I did that, I did that, did 100% of things, and really only 2 of them were vital. 2 of them. And then there's one book, it's called The One Thing. And it asks you to ask yourself at the beginning of each day, what is the one thing that I could do that will give me the least amount of effort and the greatest amount of results? If I could only do one thing today, that needs to get done first. So it's time management. It's knowing what moves the needle, what gets me in the center of the dome, what gives me momentum, and what are those actions, and doing more of them. And a key or hint is usually it's those disciplines that we don't like to do.
Well, the disciplines we don't like to do. Now, with that said, then there are people who are watching us who find themselves at this place now. They're feeling convicted. Okay, they're feeling convicted, and there is this strong reality there. There are some things I just don't like to do. I don't want to do. And here's what I say: you don't have to do it, but don't hate. Don't hate on others who are doing it because they know they have to do it and they're getting the return. Don't call me lucky when I'm doing the things that's bringing me closer to where I'm desiring to be, because I'm pushing myself. The truth there, I remember doing these lives, and I remember, listen, I was pre-recording, and I would do 5 or 6 talks before. I would hate this one, I would record another one, hate this one, then record another one. And then I would do a live, I was in the gym, and I would just go for it. And then I would finish, and I'm on the treadmill. I'm sweating more about what I think people think about the fact that I didn't pronounce a word right. And I was like, but it was helping me to get closer to where I was desiring to be. But I was afraid, and I knew I needed to do this, but oh, how I was so uncomfortable doing it. Last year, when I started to look back on the amount of presentations I made in 2020, I'm blown away, because I can remember telling someone, I'm not a speaker. Don't give me the mic. I can remember saying, you know what? I just want to work with the kids. Y'all can talk to the media. I don't want to talk on the mic. I don't want to make the announcement. I don't want to deal with the adults. Could you believe that?
Wow. Okay. That's news to me. That is news to me. And then a testament to what being mentally strong can do to overcome that. So, and there's not a successful person that will tell you that they didn't have fear, but they did it anyway. Right. Most of the actions that I take, I'm like, oh boy, how's this going to work? Most of the calculated risks that I take as an entrepreneur, calculated meaning I know I can lose 5 G's on this deal, but I'm going for it. That's a calculated risk. I know I can put this product out. I don't know if we'll sell anything, but it's going out. We're all in. So the fear, learning how to push past it is a mental toughness at an elite level, and everybody can get there. It's continuing to take action. Take action without edit. Take action without editing yourself. Don't pull back and critique your own self. Leave that to a professional. You can get feedback, because your filter might be for criticism. You need to get some help and a team to give you feedback so you can get better. That's where coaching comes in. And life management. Those are the types of skills that the life management agency can help an individual with, because you can be impartial. You can see benefit and how it could get better. But doing it afraid and being consistent are 2 actions. There's something about being persistent. It's a principle. A principle works for anybody, regardless of color, age, race. A principle, if enacted and operated on consistently, will have 100% of the time the desired result. A spiritual principle. Persistence is a principle. By simply not quitting, you're going to come out with something.
Come on.
You're going to come out with something. What is that? What movie was that? May the odds ever be in your favor. You're going to come out with something. If you just hang around successful people, you're going to come out with something.
I'm so glad you said that. I was telling a friend last week. He said, Camilla, I don't understand you. I said, man, listen. One of the things I do, as you just mentioned, I have in my favor is, man, listen, I'm persistent, man. man, let me tell you something. I'm gonna go after it. And I said, my whole thing is when the dust settles, I'll still be here. When the dust settles, yeah, I'm not gonna quit. And here's the deal: I want to learn, and I'm just not as fast as most people who may be judging me. But at the end of the day, progress is being made, and if progress is being made, I'm going to stay persistent. I'm going to stay engaged, consistent as well. I'm going to be very consistent in all of the things that I think, because after a while, this thing is going to turn in my favor. Let me ask you this. The whole idea of being mentally tough enough to celebrate the wins of others, knowing that you're on a journey, but now you don't have to actually be so hard on yourself because others are succeeding and you haven't met your goals and things aren't coming together for you. Being mentally tough enough to be able to say, you know what, there's enough room for all of us. And I'm cheering my sister on, I'm cheering my brother on because I want to see them win. And I know it's just a matter of time before I win. What's your view there?
Pure celebration can only happen in the absence of envy. To purely be able to, pure celebration can only happen in the absence of envy. So, and that deals with mindset, scarcity versus abundance. And abundance is my jam. Okay. Abundance is my jam. Yeah. If I'm coming forth, it will be there when I need it. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not coming in route. I'm not going to take this route. If I'm coming for this, if I set a goal, by the time I get there, abundance is going to be waiting for me. Yeah. Abundance. Now, the scarcity mindset, the inability to celebrate just purely and cheer others on, that's something in the mindset, a deficit, a deposit. I don't know how it gets there. A lot of people, they'll have a spirit of rejection from a childhood or anything. I mean, the root of it needs to be sought out, but there is enough for every person's assignment. Every aspect of my assignment, there is abundance for me. I believe in this. I believe in community over competition. Yep, so if we build a community, okay, then we're all going to succeed. Yeah. Just like Zuckerberg built Facebook, okay? Yeah. I have a business. I'm able to do live social selling in my business Facebook group that I did not found this company, and I'm able to make thousands of dollars off of this community. And Zuckerberg is not concerned that he's not going to eat. Right. Because do you see what I mean? So if we would, in addition to what we're called to do, focus on building a community where we can engage others, that only brings us all up and helps us all to be even more prosperous, welcomes others into the platform. So I'm not afraid to share knowledge. And there was a time I did have a problem with celebrating others. And to be honest with you, I did. There was a time when I did, and that was because I felt passed over by God. I felt overdue. I felt rejected and not heard. And so I had to plow through all of those to be able to get to that healthy place mentally and understand what true abundance is, which says God wouldn't put me in this earth and not have enough waiting for me to do what He called me to do. That would be cruel.
Yeah, right. That would be cruel. I like what you said. Bold. I know, right? Community over competition. Oh man.
Yes.
Oh, that is so rich. That is so powerful. In addition, you said pure celebration can only happen in the absence of envy. Yeah,
that's it.
See, if I'm not envious and I'm in a community, it really works in favor of me. But if I'm in a community, if I'm in a community and envy is sent, is captured, seen, or felt from me, I can lose the benefit of a community because the spirit of envy.
Come on, you preaching now. I gave you your sermon title. Now you preaching. Okay, now you showing off. But no. I see where you're going with this.
Yes.
The environment the safety of community allows us to incubate. Remember, we were talking about preparation. And if you ain't ready, community will say, you hold up. Let's get you fixed up. You know what I mean? It brings all of these elements together. It toughens you up.
Let's talk about this in the preparation stage for greatness. Let's call it greatness. When opportunity comes and you're a little bit prepared, but you're not wanting to take the jump. You know, there are some people who are overly preparing in the sense of in their mind. They're not really literally preparing. They're just, I'm not ready yet. It's like they're almost never ready, but they have something on them and they don't want to take the little baby steps. It's almost like deciding. I can remember when I said I was going to work with kids. Okay, I remember when I said I was going to work with kids. I said what I'm going to do is, one of my friends said we could start an organization. No, I'm going to go to the children's home in the Bahamas, and every Saturday I'm going to start meeting with them for an hour, play basketball, the kids dominoes, help the kids with their writing homework. Just Saturdays. I started there. I started there, and I feel goosebumps right now because I feel what happened when I initiated this whole thing. It was me. Then I went to church the next week, and I felt a bundle of joy because I was helping like 30 kids on a Saturday. I did it the first week, the second week, the third week, and then by the third week, someone says, "Hey, can I go with you?" Long story short, it was 3 of us that went. About 2 months later, it was 7 of us. About 6 months later, it was like 20 of us. And by the time we hit 20, about 6-7 months in, the director, she says, well, the number of you guys that are coming is no longer an individual. You're an entity. You have to be considered a group. And one of my friends said, well, you need to start an organization. I was like, what? I just want to reach kids. I just want to help kids. And long story short, I ended up starting a work that because I initiated the first move. Talk to us about that mental toughness to be prepared to start from your car, to be prepared to start from your kitchen, to be prepared to start.
Yes. And the Bible talks about that, just like you said. Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. One translation says, in the beginning, God made something out of nothing. So God can, there's the law of multiplication and activation, making something out of nothing. Take something that's dull and void and fashioning it. Now, so number one, we're talking about the way you described your journey. Number one, pure motive. I'm just here to serve. I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? I'm here. And then that allows and clears the airways to get really clear direction on your path when your motive is pure. Okay, so you didn't start off like I'm gonna start a whole organization. You started with you serving someone else. Best place to start. If you don't know where to start and you feel something big on the inside, grab a broom and sweep somebody's floor. Start with pure, and then you're gonna begin to hear details and be able to put meat on bones. And then after that, making something out of nothing. The only way that you can do that and be inspired to do that and manifest that is being able to take the next step after step after step. You have to move. You got to be agile. I've seen so many people remain in seasons and remain stagnant too long, either because they didn't know what the next step was or they weren't confident in taking it. You can't mess this life up. You can't. I don't know a person that can mess up taking action. I've never seen that. I've seen them learn and be able to be more precise the next time, but I've never made an error taking action. Only when I stood still did I miss season and did I miss opportunity. Let's get busy with the next step. If you don't know the big picture, seek the next small step.
With you mentioning the next small step, let's talk about the whole concept of us living in a society where people are more okay with trying. We live in a society where people don't treat you as bad as they were back in the day. Failure had a bad rap. Nowadays, John Maxwell coined the whole concept failing forward. You know, so it made failing, for lack of a better, cool. You know, at least I tried, right? So, but for those who haven't captured the understanding that growth comes through trying and learning and being open. And so, as you mentioned, I've met a lot of people there over the years who will run circles around me in everything that I've done in the last 25 years. It's almost like the guy who says, you know what? Oh man, me and LeBron went to school. I dunked on LeBron's head in high school. Well, who are you? I don't know your name, but I know LeBron's name. It's the guy who says Joel Osteen can't preach, but I'm like, who are you? I don't know. Have you written a book? You know, it's the person who says, you know, oh, if I were to do, but they've never tried, and they've never obviously failed to a degree to give them prominence, because prominence come with moments of behind the scene trying to do. I was listening to a friend of mine who worked really close with Joel Osteen. He was talking about his work ethic and what he put in to being who he is. See, we see grand, but we don't see the sacrifice of the work ethic that comes with grand and so forth. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole concept of having tried, do you agree that we live now more in a society that's somewhat more okay with you having tried? I mean, because I remember people would tell you, don't even try. You know, go get a secure job, go work for the government, go get a postal service job. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere where you don't have to worry about retirement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. We have a culture shift towards at least getting out there and trying. I know when we played sports and games, there was a winner and a loser. Yeah. And you didn't want to be the loser. Now everybody get a certificate. I'm like, what is this? Everybody, no, that's not how this works. That doesn't teach us anything. So, and effort. Effort is good, execution is good, but even better than all of that is results. If we look at legacy and life, I mean, we'll have to go no further. Some of the greats that did, we can look at Jesus. We can look at Dr. Fred Price, the people who I'm always fascinated about what one man can do in his whole lifetime. When I travel, I like to see big buildings and museums to one man to see what they did. And I'm always curious, how long did it take? I'm trying to get an idea of how long. Listen, the only way that we can change, the only model that we have to change the world in our lifetime and leave a legacy is a total life sacrifice. We have to give our whole life, high level output. That is it. We have to give our whole life, execute every single season. And that work ethic, and you and I know everybody don't have it. Everybody's not going to do it. For the few that everybody wants it.
Wow.
You know, there is an overall desire, but there is an elite few that will actually be mentally tough enough, because it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. I'm literally, I have an employee that put in 2 weeks notice. I'm in litigation with a vendor, multiple $1,000 litigation with a vendor that, you know, we have a disagreement, and I came back down because I'm not wrong. And then I'm somebody's mother. I'm the finest man in the world's wife. I mean, these things, I got teenagers. This is a legit set of circumstances. If I were not tough, I would cave.
Yeah, right. I have a friend. He's a business guy, and we referred to a story. He said similar to what you just said. He said, "Brother, most people, you know, they envy my car and talk about my house. But brother, do you know what comes me? I had to hire an attorney to work in our office just to deal with the level of issues that is coming at us on a weekly basis." He said, "I had to hire an attorney to work for the company just to address the high level of continual issues that was trying to come my way." And so most people don't understand. Let's talk about this as we bring our talk almost to a close, and that is the whole deal with negativity and drama. and being able to be mentally tough enough to say, I'm going to live above that, and I'm not going to allow that to become my downfall. I'm not going to allow that to be the thing that to suppress the greatness within me. Living above negativity and drama, because the truth is, we live in a world where people will try to come at you and bring about a toxic way around you that has a lingering ability from causing us not to soar at the level that we were destined to.
Wow. So first of all, I live a very insulated life. My inner circle, very small. So I don't do drama. They don't get it. They don't, my inner circle. So we have to be protective of our inner circle and who we allow to speak into our life and how you communicate people, how you dress, your quality of work trains people how to treat you. So it depends. I don't get a whole lot of drama brought at me. Conversely, they say you're not really a success until you get an internet troll or a heckler. So, but I'm very well insulated in terms of what, on a personal level, what gets to me. On a business level, yes, there are opportunities for negativity and for drama, and we have to almost square our shoulders and enter that arena. If you're going to go there, you got to be strong. You can't bring your feelings into, if you're offering a product, if you're desiring to sell a book, product, service, change the world, teach, mentor, you are, and the world has brought everyone so much closer. Coach Ricardo, people feel like they know you.
Right.
Because when they see your content, when they consume, they're consuming hours and hours of our lives in content and in posts. They feel like they know us. So they feel like they talk to us like they know us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, keep a tight circle, be insulated from it, set boundaries. There's only so much. And then there's the delicate balance between putting up walls and keeping yourself protected and mentally strong. And you have to find that balance, because I can't let people turn me and make me hard and hate. Yeah. So I have to protect and care for and guard my heart. So I'm just not a gossiper by nature, so it doesn't come back to me. It's true, you reap what you sow. A lot of that stuff I never engaged in, so it doesn't come back.
I like it. You said so much. When you said, I have to guard my heart, I have to set up those boundaries. I have to understand that. Listen, that's not what I'm going to be about, because at the end of the day, if I'm about that, that's what I'm going to attract more of. And so I like the fact that you have a standard, and the way you represent yourself as to what you believe you're about doesn't even attract that kind of energy for the most part. That is so cool. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined with Deria Brown, and we're talking mental toughness. Here on Effective Living, our goal is to help you take control of your life. There's 5 foundational F's that we've been building upon: faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. Deria, lately we've been having some of the most amazing events here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Next month, we're excited about this one. It's our 5K run walk. We have a 5K run walk that's happening in August. Yep, you heard me correctly. August 21st, 7 a.m. We're going to have people coming from all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. River Legacy Park. You got to show up, be a part of this. Listen, one of the things that I've noticed there is that when people started to come together to do the necessary work to pull those 5 areas of their lives together, it's just like, oh man, I didn't know I could have it all. I didn't know that I was only focusing on one. Some people are just was only focusing on faith, or I know a few people who are only focusing on family. And there are others who may have just been focusing on even fitness, but then they found themselves getting at a certain age or season in their life, and they started to wonder why my life doesn't feel whole, why it doesn't, I'm not living life effectively. And so we've been excited about seeing this whole thing come together. Progress demands a level of mental toughness. Let's close our talk with that. The whole idea that I want to be successful, I want to live life effectively. There's a level of mental toughness for every level of growth and development. What's your view there?
Yeah, as we wrap up, in order to be at that elite level, you're going to have to block out some time to train your mind. You're going to have to take in some new information. You're going to have to run through problem solving scenarios to come up with a system to solve problems without emotion. You're going to have to subject yourself to a mentor or a coach to give you feedback and not criticism. And then finally, you're going to celebrate every small action. You're going to celebrate because and most of us are making something of nothing. So along the way, celebrate those small wins that you have along the way getting to your destiny.
Wow, that was so good. Can you tell our viewing audience how they can get a hold of you, follow you on social media? I mean, the Sparkles Girls Club, and I mean, you got a business. How can people get a hold of Deria Brown?
Awesome. At Deria Brown, all social media platforms, at Deria Brown. I would love to hang out with you guys. sparklepink.org for girls. Check it out. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you.
Excellent. Deria, it's always a delight to have you on our platform. You provide such great content. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to our Bahamas trip. You and Antoine, when we get to the Bahamas, we about to crank it up, okay? we gonna crank it up. There's just so much happening in the world. And there is so much happening in the Bahamas, and I'm excited about the opportunity, what we will have to be able to do in the lives of young people this October. And so thank you both for committing to being a part of this year's event. We're working on putting some things behind the scene to make sure that this is a grand experience for everyone. So for those of you that are watching, if you want to join us October 6th through the 10th in Nassau, Bahamas, let me tell you something. This is the ultimate mission trip. Now, Deria, I said to myself, I have a number of people who have been before, and I need to crank it up a notch. So here's the deal. I'm believing God that that's exactly what's going to happen. And so I'm excited about it, looking forward to it. If you guys are anywhere here in the United States and you want to be a part of what we got going on in the Bahamas this October, go to the website, ricardomiller.com. Also, follow Deria and find out how you can capitalize on what she has going on, because amazing lady doing great things. I'm so grateful to know you and your husband and all the wonderful things you guys are doing. Thank you for having me. Blessed with your presence on the show tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, listen, let's keep soaring. God bless you.